Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 2 of our STEM Expo Speakers series. And today, our lucky guest, Walker Pawlik is our special guest today.
It's good to see you, Walker.
Good to see you, Walker.
Hi.
So that's where you've been for the last 3 weeks. I was wondering. So Walker, you've told us with your 3 facts that you're in 10th grade right now, yes?
Yes.
Okay, we're really going to talk about what one of your interests was about the middle of last year. Can you tell us what that was?
I was interested in making my own computer.
Okay, and did that start last year in 9th grade, or was it before that?
Yeah. Yeah, last year.
Started last
summer, and then it started becoming something in the winter.
Okay. And what was that process like? I mean, the first thing you did was what?
Uh,
I know the first thing you did.
what was it? I
You
don't
came
remember.
you came to your parents and said,
Oh.
What do you think about what do
Mhm.
you think about me building a computer?
Yeah.
And what did
You
we
guys
say?
were supportive. You guys were like, yeah. Um, and then I think the next step was like how to build a computer, right?
Yeah, you didn't know anything about it, right?
No,
I mean,
nothing.
like you knew literally nothing about building a computer.
This was like September. Yeah.
Of this year?
Last year.
Last year.
The year before last.
Right. So,
ninth
2018.
grade.
Ninth grade.
2018, September 2018 is when you first started thinking about this.
Yeah.
And you came to us and I was fairly supportive. I was like, yeah, if this is what you want, then fine. Your mother was kind of, don't use it for gaming, I think.
Yeah, she didn't want me to be in my room all the time.
Right,
Which
that was
I'm not. You have to give me credit. I'm not.
Anyway, okay, so you started the process. What did that look like? So, like, really all the way through to December, were you doing any research at that point in 9th grade?
Not through to December. I did it all before December.
Oh, you did?
My deadline was Black Friday.
So I think what we're trying to do is fill the gap. Your interest began in 9th grade, from what you said.
Right. Yes, it did. And then I bought it.
Okay, so let's fill in that year.
Right.
Process.
Nothing really happened in 9th grade, and then the September this 10th grade year, so last year, is I started researching how to build a computer. I came across PC Part Picker, which I mentioned earlier. It lets you organize your components, and it gives you a subtotal. So it's just really easy to pick out all your pieces and put it together. And then I wasn't sure what any of the components were. I didn't know what they did really. But looking them up helped. I watched some videos comparing some models, but not really. I read a lot about how CPUs work and what the stats were. So what boost clock and like hertz are and what that means. And then I looked at that and I compared it to the price and I tried to get the best bang for my buck. I also, something that helped, I made a Reddit account, or I used my Reddit account, and I joined Build a PC Reddit page, a few Reddit pages that are environments for newcomers or non-newcomers to ask questions about anything. And it was great. I would make a post with a draft of my PC parts and then post it on Reddit and see what people think. And then people would say, the GPU chose really isn't that great, or the power supply, you need a nicer power supply, and so on. Which is great because I didn't know not conventions, but I didn't know pieces that were bad, and I didn't know the reputations behind the components. So
And did you have a budget, Walker?
yeah, it was around 1,000.
Okay. And it was actually, you kept saying that it was lower than that, and I kept going, yeah, get the better one. Yeah, get the
Yeah,
better one, right?
I always had 2 drafts, a budget and a less budget, and you always said get the less budget. So
You mean
I
higher
kind of
budget?
in the end I kind of merged the two. I
Right.
upgraded the CPU, downgraded the GPU, and yeah.
Okay. So, Walker, can anybody learn this kind of stuff?
For sure. It took me less than a month to learn it myself. And with the amounts of resources that people have, like Reddit was great because it was such a welcoming community. There's so many people and articles that welcome newer people to the field that are easy to read or just easy to find.
Great. Now, we did the video on your computer and what the build was and all of that. Do you have any words of wisdom for some of our viewers out there who are watching this going, maybe I want to build a computer? Now, is it...
Okay, Walker, so we're here in your room. Okay, and you're going to tell us a little bit about your computer, huh?
Sure.
What, it doesn't look like anything special. Is it special?
Yeah. I don't know about special, but
Tell us some of the things about your computer. Go through each part, and we'll spend about 3 to 5 minutes on this, okay? So try to go through as quick as you can with that, all right? And I'll try to help you out.
So I kind of used PC Parts Picker website that lets
That's what's on here now?
Yeah, website that lets you build a PC virtually.
Nice.
And it shows every part and each component of the PC. It was really helpful when I was making mine. It made it easy to understand what was in a computer. So
And it also gave you pricing, didn't it?
right, exactly.
And a comparative pricing?
Yeah.
That was really helpful, right?
Yeah, it compared not only the prices of different, like, of any CPU. There's many different models and different, like goodnesses, how good another quality. Thank you. Different qualities, and you could compare those, but also the same CPU at different retailers. So at a Micro Center or at Newegg or on Amazon or at Best Buy, it showed those if it was available.
Okay, so you used this right around Black Monday.
Black Friday.
Black Friday and
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday, thank you.
But Black Friday was...
Okay, so like over that weekend.
Yeah.
And you wound up paying how much for this? About?
Like $1,100.
About $1,100. And if I'm not mistaken, you just got on and tried to do it again?
Yeah.
$1,700?
Yeah.
So you saved about $500.
Which is
And you even looked at some other stuff. It was almost up to $2,000. So you saved a bunch of money by waiting on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And Digital Monday.
Like just on this monitor.
Okay.
$115.
Now tell us about what you got here.
So the CPU is an AMD.
Where's the CPU?
Under there. Here, I can take this out. It's under that fan. Right?
Okay.
That's the fan came with it. It's basically the brain of the computer. It does all the work. And I'm going to use an analogy that Mr. Spencer taught me. Here, I'll put this on the desk. So, the CPU is the brain of the business. Say we have an office. The CPU does all the work, but the CPU needs somewhere to work, and that's a desk. The brain, like the worker, uses a desk to use all his work, and that's the RAM. These two light bars kind of are RAM.
Right.
And the RAM kind of holds all the memory, all this stuff he's working on right now, at the moment, there.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have my English homework, my science homework, and my math homework on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's all on the RAM. So I could have Chrome, I could have a video game, and I could have a calculator open, all like on random access memory. Right. And then we have the storage is under here and right there. It's basically a filing cabinet where
Oh,
you
okay.
put all the work that you're not working on right now. And then
Is that your terabyte or?
that's a terabyte, M.2, and then under here I have 2 terabytes.
So this thing holds 3 terabytes?
2 hard drive and 1 SSD. SSD is faster. And then the GPU is basically another office just dedicated to graphics.
Why would you need something that's just dedicated to graphics, Walker?
Well, partly because my CPU doesn't come with integrated graphics.
Yeah.
So I would need a graphics card, but mostly because...
Sounds like a lot of power just for graphics.
Yeah. Because, Photoshop. Photo takes a lot of...
What else would you use that graphics card for?
Minecraft is a pretty graphics-heavy game.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about things like, I don't know.
I mean, Call of Duty's alright.
Oh, yeah.
Rainbow.
So if you're gaming, this would be an important aspect.
Yeah, the graphics card is basically all your frame rate, your the quality of the graphics in the game. But the frame rate is not just determined by the graphics card. Say my GPU can put out 144 frames in CSGO. But my monitor can only display 60 of them because it has a 60 refresh rate. Then I would only really be getting 60 frames.
So your monitor here,
It's 144.
of course it is.
But that's my GPU can't put out 144 in every game. I only get around 100, or not only. I get around 100 in Modern Warfare, around 100 in Fortnite. But this is like it leaves some room
Walker,
to grow.
What other aspects of the computer did you have to buy? You had to buy the case?
The case, the motherboard, which is holding everything. The motherboard is kind of just everything, connects everything.
Okay,
The fans, I bought 4 fans,
right.
3. 2 of them came with the case. The mouse, the keyboard, and I got this from a friend.
Nice. You want to give Pierce a shout out?
Yeah, Pierce and Robbie. This was Robbie's. Robbie gave it to Pierce,
Nice.
and Pierce gave it to me, so thank you.
No problem. It looks great too, by the way. What do you call that, all the colors and stuff, Walker?
It's called RGB.
RGB. And can you change those colors and stuff?
Yeah. Some people have a bunch of connected ones.
Yeah.
So they're all connected. So that you can just like go into one software and then change it all at once.
Oh, wow.
But I have like SteelSeries, Corsair, T-Force, which is like, and then the case has its own. So I have to kind of manually do it. I don't really care though.
But it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. So
It's got a nice glow, right? You can make the RAM do all kinds of different things too, can't you?
Mm-hmm. And the mouse pad and
Okay,
the mouse. And
that's great. Well, you know, this is fantastic. Thanks for letting us into your castle here, and we'll be sure to. We're gonna talk a little bit more about why you got involved in all of that. But thank you for now for doing all this. We appreciate it.
Of course.
And we're back. Walker, you're telling us about gaming computer. What else can you share?
Yeah, I mean, I use it for productivity. It's been really helpful at school. Usually before quarantine, I just used it for homework, writing papers, doing research. But after quarantine, now that it's quarantine, it's so nice to have because I can have a bunch of tabs open and do a bunch of things at once. that I wouldn't have been able to as easily on my laptop.
So
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, in your video, you talked about Photoshop. You talked about other things you need the graphics card for, etc. You do any artwork on the computer? You do any designing?
Not really right now, but I do want to get Photoshop on it so that I can, instead of using my laptop for my photography kind of processing station, I guess, I want to use this because it's more powerful and I can do more with it.
You know, I mean, we talk about it as being a gaming computer, but actually, it's just a powerful
Yeah.
desktop computer.
Mhm.
There's no real secret to it being a gaming computer, except maybe frames per second or higher. Um, but that can really help in video. That can help in other things too. So
Right.
I think that many people are really mistaken when they hear, "Oh, gaming computer." I don't game, or that's not. We're really talking about a powerful computer that can handle a lot of things, right?
Right.
Sure.
Uh,
And Walker, what's the benefit of the desktop over the laptop for you?
uh, s- Being able to have such powerful components. There are laptops with the same GPUs, the same CPUs, and similar monitors, but they're huge and they're not very convenient. Also, I think the biggest part is you can't build a laptop. Laptops only come pre-built from manufacturers. I built the PC and I feel like it's more mine and it feels more personal. And I can change it, I can upgrade it. I don't think you can do that with a laptop. You can buy a
Not
new,
as
better
easily. Yeah.
laptop, but you can't really open it up and change its parts usually. So it's just the interchangeability and how personal it is.
Yeah, my brother-in-law has been doing the same thing as you for the last, seems like 25 years. Just need more power. You need more RAM. You need more whatnot. You just pull it out, put in a new one.
Yeah.
Right. So Walker, now you've had this. We've explained it. We've explained all the parts and that kind of thing. What are the next steps? What's the next upgrades for you?
Well, my GPU is good. It's it's newer. My CPU is fine. If anything, my cooling, I could get my temps down. More fans, newer fans, because right now I'm running off of 2 case fans that come with the case. They're not really, they're just stocks fans. I could get nicer fans. And then maybe I could look into water cooling. Right now I'm using a fan to cool my CPU, but I've heard water cooling might be better. But I've also heard that water cooling really isn't better. So it probably depends on the case that I have. It probably depends on a lot of things, but I can look into it. It's also a lot more maintenance, which I don't like. Um, but and then after that, probably a new motherboard because it's a little lower end.
Hmm.
But really, that's in a few years to come. I don't have to worry about anything right now.
So you think you're going to get another 2 years maybe out of this?
Easily, more than 2 years. This could be like my computer through college, probably without any upgrades.
You actually talked
Maybe.
about a second screen, no?
Yeah, right. I do want another monitor because this one has pretty accurate colors and it's 24 inches. But if I could get a different panel type and a bigger monitor for movies or Photoshop with more accurate colors. It's not super necessary, but it's
Great. Well, do you know other kids that have done this in RHP?
yeah. Dominic, sorry, really not. He's got his own one. He helped me out through this process.
All right.
He showed me his build, and talked me through some things, talked me through my own drafts, and told me what parts I should get, what parts I shouldn't.
Cool.
I think,
Any help from faculty or anything like
yeah,
that?
yeah, Mr. Spencer helped me. Also, more than just the PC parts, Mr. Spencer taught me a lot about how a computer works. And it was good to talk to him about that. But he also helped me through the picking process as well.
Maybe your father, did he help you at all in this regard?
Eh. Yeah, he did. He also helped. He was a good resource.
Part of the build, right? We put it together.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting putting it together.
Right. Putting it together was also hard because the motherboard has so many pins to plug stuff into, and they have to be plugged in right. And
there's really no instructions. I mean, they basically give you stuff and then say, "Here it is."
especially
so you really
because
kind of have to figure it out.
Okay, so like start to finish, how long we talking?
Putting it together.
Yeah.
it took me like 2 afternoons, 3 afternoons, but only because I was having some technical difficulties. Typically, it should only take 2 hours, probably.
Right. That's about right.
For a new person, it might take 4, 5, because I watched videos and I did a lot of research in between. I couldn't get my monitor output working, but I had to. It had to do with the monitor itself. I had to push a button. So.
Well, Walker, this has been great. I'm glad that it's really suited you well. And, I'm going to say as a parent, watching this process, the computer, the cost of the computer, number one, it's a fantastic computer for that price. That's the first thing. But actually, it was totally worth it for you to learn all that stuff on the computer and what everything goes through. So as a parent, I would highly recommend kids at your age to put this together. It was a great experience for you.
It's not really, now I have a gaming computer. It's also like $1,000 class on computers and components.
Yeah, absolutely.
With a computer. Like,
yeah, no,
I learned
absolutely.
so much, and I'm glad I did.
That's great. Mike,
Great.
anything else?
No, Walker, you got anything to plug? Any shout outs? Anything coming up? Anywhere we can come see you? Anything like that?
No, but
Yeah.
I don't. I'll 1v1 anybody on Modern Warfare.
Oh.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
The challenge is out. Thank you, Walker. Thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate it. And hopefully you've convinced a whole bunch of our people out there to give it a try and build their own. Right?
Yep. Absolutely. Thanks, Walker.
Thanks, Walker.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.